I'm Belinda Sandor. Welcome to Lessons from the Cockpit. I'll be your host today. Let's get started. Hey everybody, welcome to Lessons from the Cockpit. I'm Belinda Sandor and I'll be your host for Lessons from the Cockpit, where I'm going to share with you every week tactical and practical tips for success in your VA business. So thank you for joining me. Thank you. I would love to hear where you're coming in from. So I can see you all gathering. It's very exciting. If you could put in the comments in the chat where you're coming in from, I would love to say hello. Hello, Frederic. Frederic says hello again. We were just together an hour ago in a special bonus session for students in VA school. We had an attorney come in and give us legal counsel on and answer our questions, which was really fun. So welcome and thanks for coming back. So Lessons to the Cockpit is a weekly show. It happens Friday at noon Eastern every week, and it's brought to you by the VA Connection. And the VA Connection is my community that helps new, aspiring, and established virtual assistants really grow and scale, and start their businesses using the skills they already have. And that's key, the skills they already have. And we do that through our free online community, courses, and coaching programs. So today we're going to talk about lead magnets, also known as freebies, and how you can use them to grow your VA business. But first, I'm going to say hello to everyone that's coming in and then introduce myself. All right, Hillary, welcome from Chicago. Awesome. Kate, Nova Scotia, Canada. Deanna, hello. And Magdalene is here. Hey, Lana. Lana, happy Friday. Yes, happy Friday. And Robin says, hello, everyone. And Nija is from, I think that's North Carolina, maybe. You can let me know. But hello. So let me introduce myself, and then we're going to jump into freebies. And, freebies are something that are kind of everywhere. But I think if you're strategic about it and think about it before you get started, that you can really use these to leverage to leverage your business and to help grow. Hello from Utah. Hello, Crystal. Hello. So while I do continue, you guys, I want you to continue to tell me where you're coming in from. So this is me and my little delicious daughter, Emily. And this was 11 years ago when she was 9. And I was just starting out as a VA, and it was a really crazy point in my life. I had never been in a situation like this before. I was overwhelmed. I was uncertain. I had no idea how I was going to get out of all of the trouble that I was in. And here's what it looked like. So I was a newly single mom and I didn't have a job. So I need to figure out, how am I going to make this work? How am I going to bring money in for us and take care of us? I had a ton of debt. I hadn't been able to pay the mortgage for over a year. And it was very stressful. It was very stressful because I couldn't see a clear path. I couldn't see a clear path. And we had to move. We had to move 3 times in 4 years before we settled down. And like I said, there was struggle everywhere. I kind of joke, but not really. One of the ways to torture me is to give me a problem that I can't figure out. And that's really where I was. I had a problem that I couldn't figure out. And I was just about to turn 50, and I just really was trying to resign myself to this was the deal. This was the life. And I had kind of given up hope, because I knew, here's what I knew. I knew that some job at $60,000 or $80,000 a year wasn't going to pull me out of this. It had to be something that had flexibility. It had to be something that was going to allow me to make as much money as I could. And having a job doesn't work like that, right? Somebody has to call you into their office and, tell you that you're getting a raise. And, even at that point, it might not be enough. It might not be enough. So I decided that I was going to use my admin skills that I had in the past. And my big skill is I'll figure it out. And I know a lot of you have that skill as well. And I was going to start working for people individually. I was going to start looking for clients and try to do that kind of work. And the reason, like I said, I wanted to be there for Emily, and I wasn't trying to make $1 jillion, although I would not turn down $1 jillion, but I really wanted to be available. I wanted to build my life around the things that were important to me, like being a Girl Scout leader, like being at the bus stop, this is a huge one, being able to pick Emily up when she was sick at school. And I know, excuse me, one of the students in VA school shared with me this week that her son was sick. She has a full-time job and with clients. She's starting her VA business, and she couldn't leave. So she had to ask her 91-year-old dad to go get, his grandson, which is not a big deal, but she just didn't want to have to do that. She wanted to be able to do it herself. She wanted to be there for him. And I think that's where a lot of us are. We want to make a change. And that's why we want this VA thing to work. Excuse me. So that we can have that flexibility, so we can have what I consider the VA lifestyle, to decide when you work, where you work, how much you work, how much you get paid. It's very, it's life-changing to be self-sufficient. And I think a lot of us want that as well. So let's see, we have Charlotte, North Carolina. Hi, Julie. Hello from South Carolina. Karen, hello from Cape Breton, Nova Scotia. And Brenda's coming in from Grossi, Texas. Or no, it's Brenda Grossi from Texas. Sorry. Okay. All right. So I started telling everyone, I knew, and I ended up getting my first client at the school bus stop, second client in the buffet line of a wedding. So it was really not what I thought it was going to be. I didn't have to cold call. I didn't have to spend a ton of time on social media, and I didn't have to do a ton of in-person networking to make it work. And so here's where I am now. I've been in business for 11 years. I've worked with over 225 clients, and I've made well over $1 million. The first year I was in business, I made $70,000, and every year after that, I made over $100,000. And it's been amazing, to be self-sufficient, to manage my debt, to get things under control, and to really to really be able to take my life to a new place. And here's where it is today, very different. So this is my new husband. We got married last summer. Here's the ring. These are our kids. Emily, you can see, she's almost 21 years old. These are Greg's 4 boys. And, everything is really different now. It's really different. And even the fact that I had a relationship with Greg had a lot to do with it, because he lived in Connecticut and I lived in Boston, which is 250 miles apart. So the fact that I could work at his house, which is now my house, and I could work in Boston, and I had flexibility. I could spend the weekend, get up Monday morning, drive home and be in my seat by 10 o'clock in the morning. You can't do that when you have a job. You just don't have that kind of flexibility. So now, like I said, my finances are handled. There's no more minimum payments, and no more barely getting by. And it's a relief. It's a relief. So let's jump in on a lead magnet and how it can help your business. All right. So first, let's talk about what is a lead magnet. Okay. So a lead magnet is something that you offer to your audience, your followers, your friends, whoever, in exchange for their email address. So often how this works, and I'll show you an example, is, there's what's called an opt-in page, a place where people put in their email and sometimes their name, and then in exchange, they get a guide or a checklist or something like that. So I would love to hear who here has a freebie. Who here has a freebie? Hello, Kristen. Hello. Facebook user. Belinda's program is great. I love it. It's changed my life, and I've gotten more clients from her program. Awesome. I don't know who that is, but fabulous. Yay. So who has a freebie? And, I didn't have one for a long time. And because I wasn't really part of the online world when I was first starting out, I actually called my first lead magnet a white paper, because that's sort of a corporate term, a white paper. But now I think of it more as a lead magnet or a freebie. Beth Johnson, hello. Oh, thanks, Beth. That's awesome. Thank you. Yeah. So all right. So let's talk about Let's talk about who has a freebie. Go ahead and put that in the chat and let me know, let me know what it is. Okay. So here's the process. All right. And part of this is going to make you happy and part of it's not going to make you happy, I'm pretty sure. But this is how it works. Okay. All right. So you create the lead magnet. All right. And that could be, like I said, a guide, a checklist. We're going to go into that. I'm going to show you some examples. All right. And then the next step is you create the standalone opt-in page where people can sign up, and then you create a page that they get after for thank you. I'm going to make myself smaller, okay, so you can read. All right, then what happens is you create regularly scheduled original content. All right, so the point isn't to just get their email address. You need to interact with their email address, okay, because otherwise the whole point is sort of lost. Because the whole idea is to have a relationship with them, okay? All right, and then what happens is you can share it on social media, you can put the word out there in lots of different ways. Then you engage with your audience. So if you send the lead magnet out via email, you can follow up with them. What did you think about the lead magnet? You put them on your email newsletter list, and I want you to be explicit about that, and I'll show you about that when I show you my opt-in page. But you engage with them. If you post something on social media, you keep an eye on it and you comment and have a conversation with them, because that's the whole point, to get their email address. But really, it's to have a relationship so that they know what you do. And then again, create regularly scheduled original content. So that is at the core of making this whole thing work. Because think about, if you sign up for someone's lead magnet and you get it, and then you never hear from them again, or you hear from them every 4 months, you probably don't even remember who they are, right? So that's why that creating content is key. All right, Marlene says, my lead magnet is power up your LinkedIn profile. Awesome. Marlene's lead magnet is awesome. So helpful. Oh, good. I have to check it out. Definitely have to check it out. Okay. Any questions about this? So it's create the lead magnet, create a way for people to see it. Then create the content, post on social media, engage with your audience. That's the key. And then, repeat with regularly scheduled original content. That's really at the core of it. Okay, so you might be wondering, and I was wondering, is this worth my time, and what's the value? What's the value? And for me, it was really, I'm always looking for reasons, legitimate reasons that I can stay in touch with someone, providing value to them without bugging them. So that's sort of, at the core of what I'm trying to do in order to have a steady stream of clients. All right. So I have found that creating a lead magnet was worth my time beyond being able to give it away, because what I found is that anytime I write something, anytime I force myself to think about it, it makes me more articulate. It makes me more confident. And it helps me to speak about my work because I've already thought about it. I've thought about the steps. I've thought about, about how to, what words to use and how few words can I use to describe what I'm talking about. And that takes practice. So beyond having the lead magnet itself, going through the exercise of thinking this through, what the content is very important. All right. So here's some tips on how to decide what is a successful lead magnet for you. Okay. So the first thing is you need to know what your audience wants and what they need from you. All right. So think about that. Think about what your clients ask you. Think about, if you don't have clients yet, but you're the one everyone always goes to because you'll fix, this or that, or take care of these things for them. Think about what would help them. What do they need or want from you? And you want them to be blown away, like they can't believe that you're giving this all away for free. In order for it to work, you really don't want to be stingy with your material. And a lot of people are afraid to give away the best stuff because they think, well, why would anyone come and work with me if I'm telling them how to do it? Well, what happens is when someone shows me their expertise, I don't think most of the time, oh, great, she told me how to do it. If I'm looking for help, I think, oh, great, I trust her to do it. She knows how to do it. She clearly, has thought this through and can help me. And so I have always given away tons and tons and tons of information. And I do not believe it's ever stopped someone who was going to work with me from working with me on any level, because my clients, they don't want to do the work, right? Otherwise they wouldn't have hired a virtual assistant. Okay. So yes, don't be afraid to give the best stuff away. So, for ideas, when you're thinking about more ideas, what's the number one thing that you get asked all the time? Recently people have been asking me about calendar management, so I could write original content or a freebie that's, 5 things to think about when scheduling an online meeting, with just, points there. The other thing is, hold on. Am I repeating myself, guys? No. Okay. What is your, this is important. What is your ideal client afraid of? What is your ideal client afraid of? So are they afraid that, that they're going to miss a step when onboarding a client? Are they afraid that they're missing things in their email inbox? Like, what are they afraid of? Think about that. And how can you help them? Get over being overwhelmed? A lot of us, get overwhelmed regularly. And, what would you be able to provide to your client that would get them out of overwhelm? And then this is a big one. So what should your ideal customer or client be asking that they're not even thinking about? What is a thought you could put into their head that they're not even thinking about yet? Okay. So I'm just going to check the comments here. All right. Excellent. All right. So let's talk about the categories of lead magnets. Okay. So the first one is a cheat sheet. It's usually a 1-pager and it's easy to skim. And an example might be how to use Zoom. So this came to me, I was thinking back when the pandemic started. Now everybody knows how to use Zoom, but back then there were so many people who were panicked coming to me. They had Zoom meetings scheduled and they didn't know how to Zoom worked. So if I would have provided, a cheat sheet with, even with screenshots of, this is what you do and this is how you get on and this is how you send an invitation, that would have been very valuable. And I imagine people would have held on to that for a long time. The other thing is a checklist. Checklists are great because they allow your audience to track their progress and make sure that they're not skipping any important steps. So that can be a great thing too. Like one of the checklists that I have is in VA school is your home office checklist. All the things you need to think about when setting up a home office. All right. So another example of a checklist could be how to onboard a new client. There's lots of steps for my clients to be successful bringing their clients on. So what kind of checklist could I provide them that every time they bring on a new client, they can just check their way through it to make sure they're successful. Another type category of freebie is called a guide. And the thing that's so great about the guide is that it can be really robust, lots and lots of information with off the charts value. And it could be, a report on, how to use email newsletters, to grow your business. So you could talk about the newsletter. You could talk about, you could go into the details about that. You could talk about, open rates and statistics. There's just it's such a big topic. You could really pour everything into that, and even kind of think of it as like a book of a chapter of a book. A guide is like that. Audio or video training is also great, and I think it's because it's more personal. It's much more personal. It can show off your style, and I think the Rocket Girl Show, which is a live show that I do on Thursdays, is an example of that. Or a podcast. A podcast can be another example of either a video or audio training that you give away in order to attract and educate your ideal clients. All right, so let's talk about where you can use it. All right, so on social media, absolutely. I'm going to show you an example in a minute of a post that I use all the time. A link in your social bio. So, you can have a link to opt in for your freebie in your Instagram bio, or, in your contact area of LinkedIn, you could feature it. There's like a featured post on Facebook and also on LinkedIn. You could put a link to the opt-in there as well. A link on your website, and I'm going to show you what that looks like in a couple of minutes. And the other thing is to talk about it. If you're in conversation with someone, and you can say, hey, can I send you my, this freebie that I have, this checklist, this guide? I think it might really help you. And then one of the things that I did when I first was starting out my business is I was creating relationships with people, and the way I did that was something that I call keep in touch emails. So it's not a sales email. It's an individual email to an individual person, and it's basically checking in. And what I did after I created my first freebie was I emailed 60 people over a period of a month or a couple of months, and said, hi, haven't talked to you for a while. Hope all's well. Things here are going great. I wrote this guide, and I thought you might be interested in it. I have attached it. Enjoy. And so then that's a way for people you already know to get the freebie out there as well. Okay. All right. So here is the social media post, one of the social media posts that I use, and you can see it says, get my free report. This special report focused on common VA mistakes and how to avoid them will help you keep on the right track, building a business that can be both scalable and fun. And then you can see, sort of a picture of it and the opt-in page there. So that is something that you could post on social media and with the link, and then people can go over to the opt-in page and sign up. Okay. All right, so here's, I want to talk about the delivery because sometimes people get confused. So an opt-in page is a page on your website with the sole purpose of having someone sign up for your freebie, okay? You're going to want to upload the freebie itself, the PDF, to your media library if you're on WordPress or somewhere on your website, because you want them to be able to click a link from wherever they are and have the PDF open, all right? I don't recommend sending it as an attachment, but there's another way you can do it as well, okay? So either when they opt in, you can send them directly to the PDF, or if you want to, you can send them an email, and you would say on the thank you page, the page where they go after they sign up, thank you, please check your inbox, for an email for me. If you don't see it in 10 minutes, please look in your spam folder. And then what happens is there's a link to that file on your website, right, in the media library if it's WordPress, and they can just download it that way. So you can either do it on the thank you page or you can email them, whichever one you want. And like I said, on the thank you page as well. All right, so I'm going to show you some examples. All right, so first I'm going to show you some opt-in pages. Okay, let's start with this one. Okay, now I'm going to make myself smaller. Okay. So this is an opt-in page for the VA connection, and you can see there's an attractive graphic that my graphics person made for me, a big free download, and then a big headline that gets people's attention, and then download this free guide and get a comprehensive list of services that virtual assistants provide to clients every day. Now, notice this right here, because I do not want to spam people. I do not like it when I sign up for something and all of a sudden, I'm getting emails all the time. So it says, by submitting my email address above, I agree to receive marketing messages from Belinda Sandor. All right. So that's one example. Here's another example. And so this is for, a lot of you have these freebies, I think, already, but the best apps, tools, and plugins. And this is a comprehensive, beautiful collection of all the best tools and apps for virtual assistants, organized by category and function. I'm going to actually show you the freebies themselves. And then here is, here's another way you can do it. Here's the VA Connection website. So subscribe to my newsletter and receive my free report, the 7 biggest mistakes made by virtual assistants when working with clients. All right. So that's how people actually get the freebie. Right now, let me pull up the freebies. All right. Are there any comments or questions about any of this? I'd love to hear from you. All right, just post them for me, please. All right, so you can have different formats. So let's start over here. All right. So this is the very first, freebie that I made. It's the 7 biggest mistakes made by small business owners when trying to grow a business. So what I did was I outlined 7 common mistakes and then wrote a paragraph about each one. So, not having all their contacts in one place, not communicating with their existing customers on a regular basis, not taking care of your finances. So this is not, really high level business consulting thinking. This is mostly common sense. Not taking yourself seriously, which means, your profiles are not up to date and your contact information is, is not easily found and things like that. And then down here is a little bio and then a link to my website right there. So let's see what Deanna says. All your information, all of your material is so informative and easy to follow. You have a gift. Thank you. I also have an editor. not saying, but I have help. I love the ones that you provided for aspiring VAs. Having those for people who want VA services is an excellent idea. Awesome. Want a copy? Oh, great. Okay, good. Thanks, Marlene, for doing that. Yes, absolutely. Okay, and if you have an opt-in page, you can put that here too. Whatever. Marlene is, Marlene does beautiful work. Okay, so here is that, and you can see there's no photographs. It's very low tech. I did have my graphics person format it for me because that's not something that I'm really good at, and I was going to be sending it out to my potential Rocket Girl clients, and I wanted it to be top of the line, super, professional. Keep in mind also, Canva did not exist back then when I did this, and I didn't even know about it. So it was either that or Adobe Illustrator, which I don't know how to use, and I didn't want it to look like a Word document. So that's why he formatted it for me. Then when I started the VA Connection, I took the same idea and I created the 7 biggest mistakes virtual assistants make when working with clients. And here, not establishing clear work hours, not understanding what your client wants, not having the right tools, not being clear how much you charge. And so here, this is available as well. Now, oops. Now, the thing that I do here, this is a picture of me and Emily, but there's something going on with my Adobe, is that I tell my story, because the story is part of it. And so here's my story that I just shared with you earlier today. And then there's a picture of me and Emily and Greg here, which is not loading for some reason. And then ultimately, I would like everyone to come join my challenge. We're doing lots and lots of challenges this year, really focusing on getting as many VAs on their feet as possible with a steady stream of clients. And so at the back of my freebie, there is an invitation. And if someone clicks here, they'll be taken to the sign up page for the challenge. So that's another example. And then here is the best apps, tools, and plugins to manage your VA business. So here, this has a cover and the story is here. And this has a table of contents. So it's a little bit more robust. And so here are, let's see, how many, 36 pages of apps, all formatted here. And then at the end, here we go. At the end is, sorry about that, guys. I don't know what's going on. But anyway, at the end of it is, so there was an introduction to how this got created. And then there's my story at the end. And then this page is likely the exact same as the last page I showed you, where it's an invitation to the challenge. All right, and this is the same thing. Or wait, no, this is the task list, right? So this is very similar to the tools and plugins. It's the virtual assistant task list. So all the things that VAs can do here, organized by category. And we use this in the challenge as well. And then in the back, you'll see, again, with the story and the picture of me and Emily that you can't see. And then you're invited to the challenge. So I'm trying to use these very strategically, to get the word out, to show my expertise, to show my skill in terms of creating opt-in pages, landing pages, the freebie itself. And so that's really what's at the heart of this. And, many of you have asked questions about a portfolio. And in a way, I feel like this is a portfolio, because if a client comes to me and says, I want to do a freebie, I say, great, here are your options. We can do it like this or like this, the opt-in page and how it all works. So let's see. Belinda, this is how you got me to sign up for the program. Beth, that's awesome. She's talking about VA School, which is an online program, a 6-month course that I offer. So yeah, so I think really putting your best foot forward when you do something like this. And again, you can get help. I do not know how to, format this. I asked my graphics guy, to give me sort of a style guide that I could follow, and then I did the formatting. But really, the covers, I don't know how to do that, but it doesn't matter, because I got someone to help. And a lot of the, in VA School especially, and in the VIP club, you guys are always helping each other, helping with logos, helping with design, helping with words. So it's really something that you could do together, So freebies can be fun. They can be a little, a little daunting when you first think about it. When I did my first freebie, it took a long time. But once I did it once, it takes less time the next time, and you don't have to do it that often. If you have a good lead magnet and you have it set up, it can work for you for years and years and years. Okay, good. All right, so I do have an upcoming challenge coming up in April, and I would love to have you sign up. Even if you've done the training in the past, I'd love for you to do it again. Even if you're in VA School, come on down. The more the merrier. So what this is a 5-day free live training on how to get a steady stream of clients in your business. So on day 1, we talk about the services that you need to start your business. On day 2, we talk very specifically about how to talk about your work so people will know what you do and that they'll be able to refer you. And we have this famous sticker right here, Stop Talking, which is key. So if you're curious about Stop Talking, I want you to come to the challenge. On day 3, I give you all my tips for how to be in front of potential clients so that you're not running all around looking for them, but you're in front of them on a regular basis so that they can hire and refer you. And then on day 4, we talk about the support systems that you need to run your business. And also on day 4, I open up doors for enrollment to my 6-month program. It's called VA School, Create the Business of Your Dreams as a Virtual Assistant. And then on day 5, we have an epic Q&A, Q&A session where all the questions get answered. So I'd love for you to join me. You can just go right here to vachallenge.info, sign up. We have a pop-up Facebook group that I'm in all the time. I'll be happy to answer any questions and get you on your way. All right. So until our next episode, next Friday, Lessons from the Cockpit, thank you for joining me. I'm Belinda Sandor. I'll see you soon. Bye-bye.